I'll just check first if I have sounds working, videos working. Anyway, um, that I have a first shitty draft, and it really helps me to sort of have no expectations, I guess. And then it doesn't matter if it's just me or maybe more people are gonna join. I'm gonna record this anyway and share it. So I'll just wait for 1 or 2 more minutes or so. Feel really grateful to be here to do this, especially for myself, I guess, because it's a new thing. I've never done this before, and yeah, I like to step into the unknown, even though it feels sometimes really uncomfortable. But yeah, it's worth it though. I'm just having a quick check. Everything's working here. We're gonna start. So thank you all for being here, either watching now or later. My name is Yuka. I'm from the Netherlands. I'm 25 years old. And I felt inspired to share my story with you. And yeah, I feel inspired to share from the heart. That's my calling, I guess, however you want to name it, to share from the heart and from a place of honesty, truth, and rawness, I guess. So I would like to start with a little meditation, little guided meditation to drop in, to arrive at that place. And it really helps me as well to come and share from that place. So let's all just take a moment to you can close our eyes or keep them open, whatever you feel like. And just take a deep inhalation here. And releasing with a sigh. Oh, maybe 2 more times. And then, um, yeah, just take a moment to feel the surface that you're sitting on. Maybe you're sitting on a chair, on the floor, on the couch, on your bed, and just connecting with the sitting bones and feeling those sitting bones. Bringing the awareness in the sitting bones, in the buttocks, in the hips, pelvic floor area. And see if you can invite some softness and relaxation in this area as well. Feeling heaviness and dropping in. Feeling the feet. And I'm not sure, you might hear this in the background. There's rain happening here, and I hope you can hear my voice well. So as we are journeying from the head into the heart, that's basically what the whole deal is about. I invite you to take a moment to feel into the heart. Maybe you want to place your hands on the heart space and just acknowledging that this space is here to start with, and just, yeah, just breathe into that area and just observe how the heart feels today. Yeah. Maybe you feel its beat. Maybe you don't feel anything. You're just like, oh, it's here probably. I'm not sure. Maybe it's on the right or on the left. Just acknowledging that place within yourself. Maybe you feel a lot, maybe you feel pain or joy or emotion. Hmm. Maybe you feel nothing. It's all good. And now I invite you to bring the breath into this area, into the heart, and see if you can breathe into the heart and exhale through the heart. And softening the shoulders, softening the forehead, the eyes, even though the eyes may be closed or open, see if you can soften the gaze. And from this place, you can gently open your eyes. And yeah, welcome to this webinar. And really grateful that you're watching. And my intention here is to share from the heart and to share my story. And I want to acknowledge that it's just a story. It's nothing more than that. But I feel like I recognize within myself when I share my story with other people. I feel I feel inspired by my own story, and I feel like because sometimes I'm talking to people and I feel a bit sort of like really in the mind and worrying and doubt and fear. And then when I hear my story and everything that happened, and then I look back and I'm like, oh, actually, I'm doing great and everything is just happening by itself. So I want to tap into that. I also want to share that because it's just a story and everything that I share here, you can just take on or leave. And um, I'm not here to teach you anything or to make you believe in anything or it's already open and raw, I guess. So that's the place where I'm coming from, and I hope that you feel that as well. So yeah, I'll start with a little introduction about why I'm here and how I came here, this place where I am right now. So I actually my journey into the heart started when started for me like when I was aware of it. When I was in New Zealand a few years ago, and I was doing an internship over there. Beautiful time. And one day I was driving to the beach in my car, and it was just such a beautiful day, and I felt so much joy and light. And then I sort of heard a voice within myself, or it was my own thought, or whatever it was. And it asked me like, do you want to live like this? Do you really want to embrace that heart, and do you really want to let it guide you through life? And I just stopped for a moment and I was like, yes, I really want to live from the heart. It just feels so good and also a bit scary, but it just feels really good. So that's where I kind of sort of committed, I guess, to the heart. Um, and then I came back from my internship from New Zealand and got back into school for one more year. And it was really strange being back in school. And I felt, I'm just going to remove the microphone. I felt I felt sort of uncentered. I didn't feel myself at all. I felt depressed and out of alignment, and didn't really know what to do with myself. And I started doing yoga teacher training, and that really helped me to reconnect again with myself. So that's one thing that helps me to connect with my heart. We're going to tap into that a little bit later on. So I was in a space of not feeling well, and I also wanted to quit school, and I just felt like I don't want to do anything. I just want to lay in bed or just do the things that I love to do, and I was sort of done with all the things that didn't really serve me, I guess. I did finish my school, so I'm happy that I chose to sort of take that practical step into the final year and finishing the beautiful study that I did, and sports and health. And it's funny because when I came back from New Zealand, I had this knowing, this inner knowing, this feeling that I would go to India Um, and I felt like, oh yeah, if I'm going with a one-way ticket. And and the first thing that came was like, oh my gosh, why would you do that? And I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna do that. So I had sort of, it's like a conversation with different parts within myself. And it happened. I got inspired by a yoga teacher training in India in Goa, and I booked a ticket. And yeah, I just it that was March last year, so it's I think 14 months ago. And I was so nervous. I was so nervous before I went. I had no idea what's gonna happen, and I was in connect I was connecting with a woman who's also a psychic, sort of to help me finding a bit of centeredness and balance within myself, to sort of have an understanding of why I was doing this. So that actually really helped me. At the time, I guess I wasn't able to just trust in myself, in my own intuition. So I kind of wanted to hear it from someone else. And yeah, I think in some cases that feels fair to me. Yeah, so I went to India, and I had this beautiful training there for a month. It was really intense, and it was really it's interesting because I remember when I was about like when I was 12 years old or something, I was sleeping at my neighbor's friend, and I just wanted to go home at night because I was so homesick. And felt like in India, I also felt like going home. And it felt really good actually for me to have that open ticket, that one-way ticket, because I could sort of, uh, yeah, I could go home whenever I want to. And I had so much struggle, and I cried almost every day. And it was like, but it was also because it was an intense training, yoga training, where we were really tapping into our subtle body's energies. And a lot of stuff came up for me about family, and yeah, just missing them so much, my beautiful family. So part of me wanted to go home, but then there was also part of me that was like, no, I kind of want to go somewhere, but I don't really know where to. So my friend said that she was going to Bali for a retreat, a yoga retreat, and she asked me to come with her. And I was like, yeah, I can go to Bali. I just didn't like, my mind was like, no, you should stay in India because India is a really special country and you should go and travel and just go by yourself, and it might be scary or whatever, but you just go and face it, and yeah, just go for it. And but then I guess my intuition, the part of me, like for me that's more in my womb space, lower belly area, if I really tune into that feeling, I was like, nah, I don't really want to be here right now. I just don't feel it. And to me, that feeling is more like a tense feeling, like I feel it in my womb space. So there's this feeling of and when the mind is like, oh yes, go for it. But then there is the difference where I actually feel a relief, and I feel like, yeah, that feels right. And it's almost like it's without any effort, effortless. That's basically what I feel. It's like it's effortless, and it just feels so simple, and so yeah, like duh, kind of. And sometimes I'm aware that I have a judgment. Like I feel like that's probably from old conditioning. Like, oh, I have to work for something. I have to fight for something. It has to, I have to really look for it, and I have to be out there, and because if I don't fight for or work for it, then it doesn't come. But actually, I feel like it's the other way around. For me, it's more that if I tune into my own body, if I feel into my body, and I feel like, oh yeah, this feels right. This feels like normal, like a flowing next step. Um, yeah, why not? Why not take that easy step? Why fight for something if it can be easy as well? And still with a little bit of what's the word? Like feeling a little bit scared and anxious about the unknown. Like I had no idea about Bali, so that was all a bit. interesting. So yeah, and and then so I decided to go to Bali, and I was staying there for a month. And mm, I was just resting. Like, I also had this thing within my mind that I felt like, oh, I need to get a job, I need to do something, I need to go and see places. But then again, I felt into my body, and I felt like, actually, I just want to rest, I just want to do nothing and just be. And so I kind of did that. And from I realized that from that relaxation, I got inspired to go out and look for like a yoga job in my case. So that's what I did. I came to that sort of that peace and relaxation within myself. Like, I really took time to nourish myself and to sort of trust that everything would sort of flow. And from that space, I tapped into a new chapter, and I found a job in Bali where I could teach yoga. And yeah, I stayed there for 3 more months, and it was just such a magical time. I'm just tuning in. Can everyone hear me well? Can can you, like, maybe stick your thumb up if you can hear me, so that I know that everything is being recorded? Mm. Can you hear me? Oh, we have a little sound thingy. Mm. Mm. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Um, can you hear me? So this is what happens with these cool live meetings. Mm, mm, mm. Oh. So can you hear me now? Woo-hoo. So I've got a little bit of a struggle with recording. Oh well, I guess that's all part. Okay, test, test, test. I'm not gonna cut this out because it's all part of, just trying stuff. It's quite funny. Okay, we're just gonna check it again. Speak and pause. Okay, cool. I'm working. Cool. I'm just gonna continue. So I stayed in Bali for 3 months, and it was it was an amazing time. And then one day I was in Singapore because I had a flyover, and I just had this feeling again of, oh, I want to go to to Australia. Well, I felt really unsure about situation and about um, what was gonna happen, and but yeah, I just found myself on a computer that day and just booking a ticket randomly, and it just, yeah. And then after 5 minutes, I was like, oh, I got a ticket to Australia, and I just, yeah, I went, and um, yeah, I I feel I feel that um, I felt in the moment that I didn't have to do anything. Like I didn't have to, like a part of me, my mind again was like, oh, I have to book, I have to book a place where I can stay. I have to arrange stuff, and but then a part of me was like, no, you're okay, you're okay, you're in good trust. So um, I stayed with that trust, and I stepped into the airplane, and I met a beautiful couple, and they had beautiful friends that I could stay with. And so I actually basically, I don't want to go too much into the whole story, but um, I yay, but I so basically everything just unfolded by itself. Like I didn't, like from the start of where I when I traveled to India, I basically just planned the course, and then um, from there on, I just let everything go, and I was just in this full surrender. And I guess it also helped me that I just had a one-way ticket, and also the backup of like, oh, I can just go home anytime I want to go. And so yeah, um, um, what do I want to say? So for me, it really helps to just surrender, I guess. Like today as well, I've been sick for the last 2 days, and like yesterday, I couldn't even get out of bed. I just felt so dizzy and nauseous and just not well. And today as well, and I had this sort of expectation of myself, like, oh, I'm gonna do this webinar thing, so I have to feel fit, or I have to sort of like shine or whatever. And today I actually felt really shit, and I felt sick and emotional. I've been crying, and also like sharing my friend and I was here, and I was sharing my insecurities with her, and I was like, I'm gonna do this webinar today, but I just don't, like, I do feel like sharing, but I had this sort of expectation of myself of like, I'm gonna share this whole dream story, but actually I just don't feel it. I feel really insecure, and I just have self-doubt, and I feel like um, sort of judgment about myself as well, because like on one hand, I have this sort of little book bought at home, and I just write down whatever I want. Like for example, I write down like, I want to live in community, I want to live in nature, I want to teach yoga, I want to dance, I want to do all these things that make my heart sing. And actually everything sort of came out, it all happened. I just write it down, and I feel into it, and that's sort of, yeah, sort of unfolded. So maybe that's one part, and then I'll go into it a little bit later. And then there's the other part where there is sort of insecurity and fear and doubt and stress, and me being on sort of a survival mode, because I I just make enough money to pay the rent. That's basically it, and I'm sort of struggling every week to sort of get everything together and to get myself together. But I feel like, I have no regrets. I really I really enjoy living on the edge as well, because I just feel so alive, and I feel so appreciative of everything that happens, and the small things, like now, right now, the rain outside, I'm like, oh, just feels so nice that I have this computer that I can use to share my story, and just all those little things that I really appreciate when living on the edge and not always live in abundance. And yeah, so that's a beautiful lesson for me. So right now I want to go into a little exercise with you guys to tap into that heart a bit more. So yeah, just finding a comfortable space. You can keep your eyes closed. Oh, bring them. Go close your eyes or keep them open, whatever you feel. And yeah, maybe you want to place a hand on your heart or just tune into it, breathe into it, whatever you feel. So like I just shared with how I create by manifesting, I'm not so much focused on the object, but more about the feeling. So what we're going to do here is just tune into the heart for this moment and feel the breath. Again, feeling the sitting bones. And and then I would like to invite you to tune in to something that makes your heart sing or something that makes you feel happy. So for me, that's dancing, or that's doing yoga, meditation, or being with friends, thinking about my family, or whatever brings you joy, or learning new things, a language, music. And I invite you in this moment here to tune into that feeling that that thing or person gives you. And to sort of hold that feeling. I once did a meditation as well where we were focusing on how would you like to feel today. So for me, it's all about tapping into a certain feeling within, like in the heart or in the belly or wherever you feel it, and then sort of feeling that joy and lightness and um, yeah, and I believe that from that space of joy and lightness and also relaxation, um, I sort of attract those things, I guess. So yeah, when I look back to my journey so far, I came to Australia, I think um, that was the end of the meditation, by the way. I'm just going further into story. This is so much fun. Like I didn't prepare anything. I'm just sort of blah. But I guess that's just my flow for now. Um, oh, I'm having so much fun doing this. Um, so when I came to Australia like a year ago, again I didn't have any plan, and I was staying with beautiful people, and then um, yeah, there was I met someone, and then I could stay with that someone, and then I was at a point that I kind of felt like, oh, I want to go home. I was just done, and I also heard news, a bit sad news from home. I'm not going into the content right now, but it was just something that really touched me deeply and wanting to be with my family. So I was sort of all over the place. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to buy a ticket home and this is it. And then I also realized that I don't want to go home with the feeling of like, I guess fuck it or oh, I'm just gonna leave, whatever. I felt like I want to go home with a feeling of yes, of like readiness and a feeling of um, excitement as well to go home. So I felt into that feeling, and and then and I was like, no, I don't want to go home yet. And I felt deeply within my heart that I still wanted to go to Byron Bay. And so I was like, you know what I'll do? I'll just buy a ticket, and then I'll go there. Buy a ticket. I didn't have to buy a ticket to Byron Bay. I'll just fix a ride to Byron Bay. I'll just go there, and if I don't like it, I'll go home anyway. So for me, it really helped me to sort of allow myself to go to those vulnerable spaces, to go to into like, you know, if I want to go home, I'll just go home. You know, I don't have to do anything. And that really gives me a lot of space and freedom of like, huh, kind of thing. So I went there. And then after a week, I just found a beautiful magical space that really like aligned with all those things that I wrote down that I wanted to do. Um, in my little book, and I just felt like, yeah, this is it. And I also believe that, you know, for me, tuning into those energies or into those heart's desires or whatever you want to call it, um, it's there in a moment, but then it also takes a little bit of time to sort of manifest in a way. So it happened, um, and now I am in a place where I feel that it's okay to go home, and because my visa is running out in a few months, and I just felt like yes, now is the time. And but again, I feel a lot of fear and I feel a lot of doubt, and I feel like I've changed so much, or not per se changed, but I feel like I'm living such a different life again, or so. Yeah, and I've learned so much, and grown so much, I guess, as well. And so yeah, there it's this thing the whole time that I feel super excited and like sort of like so light and so yeah, loving towards everything, and like for everything that I do, because I am doing the like Zumba classes, and doing yoga classes, and hosting a spirit dance, which has been a dream of mine for 3 years, and I've never dared to do it because I was like, oh, that's just a stupid idea, and no one really wants to do it. And now I sort of stepped over that boundary because it was there for 3 years. Like I have those things that something really wants to come out within myself, but then my mind is like, no, no, don't do it. It's stupid. No one will like it, and sort of no, don't go there. But it's still there, and it stays there until I'm like, okay, what do you want, kind of thing. So, so I was in a beautiful space where I could hold workshops and stuff. So I was like, maybe I'll just try it, and I'll just, if it doesn't work, then it's okay. And then the first time I tried it, was the dance workshop, and then I was like, well, maybe I'll just do it for 5 minutes, and if they don't like it, I will never do it again. And there's so much doubt and fear coming up the whole time. Like even with this, I'm still like, ooh, exciting. but, but it's just, I feel like every time when I do it, when I step into the edge of my comfort zone or stepping out of the comfort zone, it's like stretching it. And that's also a thing. Like I feel like for me there's a balance between like stretching the comfort zone, going way out of it, but then there's also the nourishing part. So sometimes I feel like when I'm really, or going really into deep emotional stuff, and when I'm releasing and crying and going into different processes with myself, or when I'm in a group, um, or when I'm like thriving for something, I'm like, I'm gonna do this and this to promote myself and get people. And but then sometimes I feel like I'm running, and it sometimes feels like I'm running, and and not, and then I feel like my body's like, dude, chill, relax. So I think that's what happened for me 2 days ago. When I woke up and I was like, I just can't do it. I just feel sick, and and that I'm actually really happy that I feel a bit sick, because 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 it really brings me into a space of surrender, and um yeah, a space of, like, right now I'm just sharing, I guess, from my heart, and with no outcome or expectation, which is great. I feel so. I'm really grateful that I created this opportunity for myself to just share. And yeah, so um yay, i've got I've got two participants. So much fun. And I'm wearing these headphones, but actually I'm not hearing anything, so I might as well just turn them off. So I've got 5 more minutes left. So I also want to open the space if there are any questions or comments or things you can type, because the sound is off. I'm so happy to see you, beauties. Yay! This is so much fun. yeah, and um, I just wanna, I guess I just wanna acknowledge myself for being here and feeling very like a part of me feels really excited, but also feeling really sort of shitty and emotional. And I've been crying half of the day. And I'm just so happy that I can just share that, and I don't really care about, I care, but I feel like I'm just happy that I can be myself, wherever I am. And yeah, I guess that's my message for now. And I just hope that, um, yeah, I just hope that that maybe inspires you in any way. And if not, then that's fine too, I guess. So, from this place, from this heart, and from the belly as well, where I live most of the time, not always, I'm often also here. Um, oh, yeah, that was also a thing. Oh, we have like 4 more minutes. My hair, it's gone. That's also. Oh my god, that's also a thing. Like I'll just share it quickly. When sometimes I have these things come up for me, like when something is here, like when I feel like I want to do something, but I just don't understand why. And that was the thing with my hair as well. I wanted to shave it off for already 2 or 3 years, and I never dared to do it. And I had like some sort of comments back home, and I was sort of, I got attached to those comments, so I felt like I don't want to do it here. So I was here again, and it kept coming to me the whole time. And then I sort of, I was like, you know what, I'm here now. I'm far away from everyone. And um yeah, I guess I just do it. And still I don't know why I did it, but it just feels so great. And it's just an example, like this is just hair, but I just feel like, um I just feel like it really makes me feel so alive to just do those things that come up. And um without any reason or without any knowing. So I feel like I'm really also really like, I feel really alive when I can just act out of those things that come up, like for real, not just instant things, but more like things that are coming from deeply within myself. um Having no understanding of it, but still doing it anyway. So from this place of feeling really alive and feeling really, um loved and accepted by myself, mostly. I remember the first weeks I just didn't dare to look into the mirror. I was like, oh my gosh, my hair is gone, I'm bald. And now I'm like, oh, kind of cute. So yeah. So yeah, I feel a lot of love for myself, and I feel a lot of love for my beautiful friends and family. And um I'm really excited to come home. So see you all in half of August. Maybe a bit later, because I'll probably be sort of kluizenaar. What's the word in English? Hibernating. Anyways, yeah, so thank you so much for coming to the Zoom meeting, sending all my love. And I would love to connect with you afterwards. Maybe we can Skype or mail or Facebook chat, whatever. So lots of love, and I'm going to close this thing now. This is the first time that I'm doing this, so I have no idea of. Yeah, I think this is the ending. Bye, loves. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you so much.